guys? My name's Cam.
My name's Joel.
And of course, we're Sports from the Gutter, and this is episode 6. So today we're going to cover the NBA draft. We're going to cover pretty much 1 through 7. So we go, of course, number 1 was Markelle Fultz. Everybody pretty much knew that he was going to go first. And that's, of course, due to his skill, his ability to score the basketball, his height at that position, his ability to pass the ball, and his ability to rebound. In college, he did average 25 and 5. That actually wasn't done previously to him. I think it was since maybe the 90s or something like that. But it pretty much hasn't been a player to come out of college to pretty much average those numbers. So it was pretty much set in stone that he was getting picked up first. The interesting thing about that was that the Sixers picked him up. They traded, for that number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of thought that he was going to go to the Celtics. So it's just a little crazy to see that, that trade right before it happened. And, now the Sixers are pretty much set. They have...
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for them this season, actually. They got the best prospect in the draft 3 of the last 4 years. That's a pretty big deal. Did you know he has a 6'10" wingspan?
That's incredible.
6'10" wingspan. He's
Wow.
6'4", 6'10" wingspan. That's pretty incredible, right there.
It is. That's very incredible.
Yeah, but it looks good for them. I don't know. How do you feel about this whole trust the process thing? Like their little slogan.
I mean, I guess it was just kind of something for the fans because the fans,
that's really
they've pretty much been going through it for these past.
It was pretty much a nice
seasons.
way of saying we're just gonna do horrible every season and just hope the cards fall in place. That's all.
Exactly.
Really
Just
was.
praying for something like this to happen. But I mean, now they have a pretty decent squad. They have Robert Covington, Markelle Fultz coming in. If Ben Simmons can stay healthy, they have Ben Simmons, and of course Joel Embiid
If he can stay
stay healthy as
also.
well. Exactly.
Yeah, that's another problem.
So it's another problem. It just seems like what do you think it is in the NBA? I know we always go off track, but in the NBA, do you think it's due to improper trainers or just the amount of games in the season? What do you think it is that causes all these NBA players to get hurt so often?
Well, for Simmons, the theory was that he put on weight too quickly. He put on 20 pounds in the offseason coming into the league.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal. So they thought maybe he shouldn't have been putting on weight that quickly. But a lot of it also just has to do with chance, It's just one of those things that you can't prevent. This talk about the Warriors having a dynasty for the next few years. There's always that question mark of what if one of them gets injured? It just ruins everything. So that's the one thing about these injuries, especially with someone like a Joel Embiid, where you want to see them be successful, but you never know what happens.
Exactly. Just like we mentioned in the last episode, Blake Griffin and his inability to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's partially due to the demand of the NBA. I feel like, especially with the length of the league, it's 82 games. Plus, everybody's pretty much grinding it out all the way into the playoffs. So I feel like that's just open season for, injuries. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's more to blame on the coaches and the team, though. Because you can look at someone like the Spurs, who they don't really experience injuries that much, and it has a lot to do with Pop just resting players. And
then again, Tony Parker is out and then Kawhi Leonard did get hurt also. So
that was just that was a bad situation.
I mean, like you said, that's due to chance. But then
compared to the rest of the league, though, they do a pretty good job. And Tony Parker, he's pretty old up there, though.
Yeah.
But for longevity wise, they've done a pretty good job of not getting players injured, though.
Right. I just feel like it's about time that the NBA season gets shortened. Honestly,
really?
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like, as from a player's perspective, it's a lot, and a lot of the players are complaining about it, but I doubt it's going to get changed anytime soon, especially because people that are invested into the NBA as far as financially, they're going to want as many games as possible, so they're not really looking out for the well-being of the players, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like the NBA needs to be shortened at least a little bit.
If anything, I feel like they have to work on the whole traveling thing, because that's a big issue. The better team you are, the more traveling you're going to do, because they want to put your games on TV. So I think that could be something that could be looked at to make sure that players are actually getting a decent amount of rest. People think of it as okay, their last game was 2-3 days ago. But with the whole traveling business, you don't really get that much rest. So I think that's something that they could probably look at first before they actually think about making the season shorter.
I just think it should be short, just because honestly, like it's like
Well,
82 games.
I don't think it should be shorter.
And it's pretty much it's similar to like baseball, for instance. Baseball
Baseball
has, like,
is
a
one
bunch
that
of
they
games,
definitely should shorten.
but it's like, I mean, you can understand why it's so long because they're not really prone to like get injured. It's
baseball,
just,
but it's like
it's
162 games.
That's a lot of games.
That's
but basketball, I feel like it just leaves more room for players to get hurt. You have to think about players' well-being after a while. And like I said, I don't know if it's a matter of greed, but it does need to be looked at and then get changed as soon as possible, honestly, because it's all these injuries and the demand of the game, to stay at the top.
You sound like a
but we just
basketball
completely
wife.
completely derailed.
Sound like one of the wives of the players right now. They just want them to be at home.
I mean, like I said, it's from a player's perspective, so like it's just it's just super demanding, honestly, to keep up with the demands of the NBA, the coaches, the owners. It's kind of
demanding.
I said it like 7 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have Markelle Fultz at number 1. I don't even know how we got into that, but Markelle Fultz 1.
Then we got Lonzo at 2.
Lonzo at 2.
I was pretty happy about that.
I am pretty happy.
Yeah.
I feel like the trade, like the Lakers trading away D'Lo was an excellent move because and Mozgov, because they're pretty much dumping off his contract to nowhere land, which is Brooklyn.
It sucks for Russell that the whole reason he had to get traded was pretty much because of that contract and like a decision that they made last season, but it had to be done.
It definitely had to be done. It's just making room for them to land at least 2, big names, 2 max contracts. Hopefully Paul George, and maybe if everything holds up, they should go for people like Westbrook.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like, I think I would like to see that more than LeBron in LA. Actually, I think that would be pretty cool to see Westbrook and Paul George. That would be pretty cool.
But Westbrook, Paul George, and Lonzo. See, that's where. Because Westbrook's the type of player to always want the ball in his hands. So Lonzo is definitely one of the best playmakers. Yeah. So that's kind of conflicting there because Westbrook, of course, he's gonna want to get his triple doubles. He's gonna want to get his assists. So that's kind of.
Do you think he'll want to get the assist again?
I think so.
That's up in the air. It's up in the air.
I just don't think that's a good backcourt, honestly. I would rather see LeBron come in at the small.
I think it's just more of me just not want to see LeBron in LA, or at least on the. Nah, I don't want to see LeBron on Lakers.
These haters, man. Yeah. But yeah, I was pretty happy Lonzo went number 2. Of course, we expected it, and then we're gonna hear from LeVar Ball about how he saw us coming from years ago.
There's plenty of that.
Yep. Number 3.
That was Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum.
I gotta admit, I didn't see Jason Tatum going 3. I definitely respect his game. He's definitely he looks like he has an incredibly long wingspan.
Yeah. That sounds weird. That sounds weird.
Yeah. But Jason Tatum to the Celtics. They needed somebody at that small forward position. I feel like they have a lot of players at that position, like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up also.
Jason
to me,
Tatum.
This looks like this could potentially be leading towards a trade down the line.
Yeah.
That's
definitely.
Did you hear that Sports Illustrated, they actually got tricked by a fake Woj account, thinking that the Pacers traded Paul George.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, they even retweeted the tweet and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing.
I saw a tweet today that, or not, it wasn't a tweet. It was a picture of like a moving trucks outside of Paul George's house.
Yeah,
and somebody was just like, Paul George is moving. You heard it here first. And it was pretty funny. But I definitely am hopeful that he goes to LA. So number 4 in the draft, that was Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson, his name's been brought up a lot during these past couple of days.
Yeah, definitely. They're saying that, he was definitely, like, he could possibly be one of the best players in a draft.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to be a phenomenal 2-way player, honestly.
Yeah, the way they were talking about it, you would think he was the next coming Michael Jordan. Like, his name has been brought up so much these past 3 days. Also, I think a lot of that has to do with just the uncertainty of the number 2 pick and everyone else. But that's a good look. That's a good look right there.
Definitely is a good look. And, I didn't get to watch him play too much at Kansas. But, from what I did watch, like, the kid can play incredible defense. Like, he's phenomenal defensive player.
That helps the backcourt, too, of the Suns.
Exactly. The Suns, exactly. Devin Booker. That was what I was going to say next. So, Devin Booker definitely looks like a superstar on the rise. This next generation is coming.
Yeah.
If he can maintain, definitely be a good look for the Suns because they've been going through it just as much as everybody else at the bottom of the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good look for them. Josh Jackson, if they keep him, because with this offseason being so crazy, you never know who's going where. So for now, Josh Jackson to the Suns looks like it's a good look for them because they did need somebody at that position. They have a lot of youth with a lot of talent. I think they are the youngest team in
That
the
makes
NBA.
sense.
Yeah. So it's a good look for them as well to build off this youth. So they have that good look there. And number 5,
Darren Fox to
De'Aaron
Kings.
Fox to the Kings.
That's
Who
Kings.
was on the Kings?
Cauley Stein, your boy.
Willie Cauley-Stein. What's his name? They got
Buddy
traded from
Hield.
the Pelicans.
Buddy
Hield.
Hield.
I like
They got
Buddy
a lot
Hield.
of Kentucky players. That's their
They
thing.
do.
Yeah,
They do.
that's
They have a lot of.
yeah. It's kind of weird. Pretty much have the whole team from Kentucky.
Speaking of Kentucky players, I honestly would like to have seen like everybody from that class. Like it was Patrick Patterson, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and who else was
Not sure.
Kentucky? So John Wall. Definitely missing somebody. Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
So I definitely wanted to see that reunion.
Yeah.
That looked like it was going to happen at one point. Especially they're all fantastic players. That would have been pretty cool to see. I just feel like Kentucky just spews out like NBA talent. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They were saying like, yeah, Duke produces pretty big names, but
Duke doesn't produce big names because Duke, they go after the players that are going to be there most of the time.
Exactly.
That's why I think Mike Krzyzewski, he was bringing up the whole
right.
one and done rule because he doesn't want players just coming in there for 1 year. They get used to the system, but they don't really benefit from that. They rather get someone that wins them championships.
Exactly.
Kentucky, they're a little bit more, we'll like to have big names attached to our program. So it's pretty much what you want out of college.
Exactly.
That comes down to it.
Anthony Davis's, the Marcus Cousins, like I said.
Anthony Davidson.
Yeah, Duke. I think the only big name that came out of Duke was like Kyrie Irving that I could think of. JJ Redick.
Yeah, not a lot of big names.
Nah,
it's a lot of good role players, but that's about it.
Yep.
There's a couple of them drafted in this draft, but we'll see how they turn out. Pretty much.
We will see. So I guess 2 more. We'll do. Who was at number 6?
Jonathan Isaac to the Magic.
Jonathan Isaac. He's tall. He's super tall.
Yeah, he's a really good 3-point shooter too.
Oh yeah, he definitely can stretch the floor. That's gonna be a good look. Who did he get drafted by?
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, so him and Aaron Gordon in the backcourt. Be pretty good.
Front court.
Front court. That should be pretty good.
From what I've seen from Jonathan Isaac, Jonathan Isaac. He seemed like a very good rim protector. So they're definitely gonna need that on the defensive end down there, in Orlando. Pretty much they have to, build off of or build around Aaron Gordon pretty much, and that's sad to say honestly.
Yeah,
they don't have anybody. They're gonna have to make some moves in the offseason, honestly, to pick up some good names, to be able to be competitors again because it's been pretty dry out there in Orlando.
Yeah, they've
for a
got
while.
a good amount of time until they start actually contending at all. That's pretty bad. Like I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about the Magic as being in a bad position, just because the Magic, no one really talks about them at all. Like the only good thing they have going for them is Disney is now like their sponsors on the jerseys. It's probably the only good news the Magic got in like
who knows, maybe to boost some type of something,
some kind of magic,
some type of magic, So going off of the the rebuild process, what do you think is necessary for a rebuild process to be successful? Do you think it's bringing in big names and building around a player? Do you think it's getting a lot of young pieces and hoping that they just kind of work out like the Warriors?
Yeah.
What do you think is the best formula for a rebuild?
The young player thing is probably the best thing, but it's also just a matter of luck. As you can see with the Warriors, it was pure luck. That's all it really was. So it's hard to replicate that. With the 76ers, they can make it seem like there was this whole big plan of things, but all it really was just doing really bad. Players just came at the right time. So yeah, you're really much best bet is just to wait it out.
Exactly. A lot of tanking. If you know you're gonna do bad about like the All-Star weekend, you just start tanking.
It sounds back on a competitive note, but that's really your best shot,
Yeah, fans are not going to want to see that, but from a business perspective, it's necessary to be able to, you have to trust the process, as the Sixers say.
Don't say that again.
And then number 7, that was Lauri Markkanen, right?
Yeah.
From Arizona. I heard a lot of good things about Lauri Markkanen from college. I didn't get to watch Arizona play too much. Pretty much all I watched in college was Lonzo, Markelle, and De'Aaron Fox. That was about it. But I did hear a lot of good things about Laurie McCannon.
Yeah, they're
and
saying
he
he's
went,
pretty much like the best shooter in the draft.
exactly. I heard he was very Porzingis-like.
Kind of, yeah.
He's considered a Porzingis. What team picked him up?
That was the Bulls.
The Bulls. Oh,
That was
that's
due
a
to
good look.
trades, you know.
Right.
The Timberwolves trades. Let's get into
The
that.
Timberwolves got Jimmy Butler.
That's
all right.
pretty
So
big.
I've liked the Wolves for a long time. When the Lakers are going through it, I liked Andrew Wiggins. He was very Kobe-like, and I grew up being a Kobe fan. So the Wolves getting Jimmy Butler, I was pretty excited about that. Seeing him, Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins,
and now Ricky Rubio. Usually Ricky Rubio is always like involved in trade talks. But I think now they can be like, oh, you know what? We can keep Ricky Rubio because he's great at assists.
Exactly.
Great at assists, but it was like, do we really need Ricky Rubio? And if anything, they got Chris Dunn if he actually does.
They traded Chris Dunn.
And, that was part of the trade?
It's part of the trade. Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn.
Oh, wow.
And a 7th pick.
Yeah, I knew about the 7th pick. Wow, Chris Dunn. So, yeah, Ricky Rubio. There we go.
So, I guess at this point, they're going to have to look for, like people at the guard position.
Yeah, and just make sure their bench is good to go. But they're looking pretty good right now.
Exactly. So what about some other transactions in the NBA? I know Dwight Howard is going to the Hornets.
Feel bad for Dwight.
This guy has been on half the NBA teams.
Yeah, honestly. In a very short span of time.
Very, very short span. He's overrated. I never, when he went to LA, I didn't want him there. He had his
sign, but it just... When he went to the
when he was on the Magic, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm saying though, like when he was on the Magic, Dwight Howard could ball.
Exactly. Yeah, but then I don't know. His personality, and then I heard in locker room that people just don't get along with him. He seems like a crybaby kind of thing. So he doesn't he doesn't get a lot of good chemistry wherever he goes. So it just seems like he's just a moving piece.
Do you feel like if he didn't go to LA for his second team, do you think if he would still be in a better standing? Because I feel like him having Kobe on the team was not a good look. Him and Kobe, I feel like Kobe would just totally bully him.
Yeah, they were butting heads. And like I said, whenever...
it was not good for his ego or his confidence.
Not at all. And you see, Kobe... it was a little further into Kobe's career, but, Kobe and Pau Gasol, they made a great pair. Bringing Dwight Howard in, I was a little excited seeing him, come off that season with Orlando. I did see some potential there, but it just seemed like he just couldn't get along with anybody. You see it in, supposedly he got along with people on the Hawks. Yeah. And then that went down the drain. Now he's on the Hornets. Who even knows if he's going to be a starter for much longer?
He's still going to be a little bit of a starter, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It's going to be him
down
and
in New
Kemba
Orleans.
Walker.
You got Kaminsky down there. I think Cody Zeller also. So they pretty much had their set big men. And Dwight Howard's game is kind of, outdated, honestly. He's more of a back to the basket. He's not. He has zero shot, in this game where, small ball is popularized. He's not really, much use.
Yeah, he's definitely going to expand his skill set if he has any chance.
Which is not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Not going to be able to shot overnight at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
But on to the Paul George situation. I feel like this is going to be a situation where it was like last season where it was like, is Westbrook going to go to the Lakers or is he going to go somewhere else? And we ended up just getting big, huge blue balls out of the whole situation.
Right.
I'm worried that's going to be this offseason. Because so far it's pretty good. So far it's really hectic offseason, which is pretty fun to watch. But I can't help but get this feeling where nothing's going to happen that we want to happen.
It's a lot of rumors, and that's that's always happens. You just have to be able to filter out the rumors and just stay hopeful for your team. Paul George did say that he wants to go to LA. Jimmy Butler did say he wanted to stay in Chicago, and look what happened. So, there could be a lot of talk, and sometimes players' preferences aren't always the priority. It's more of a business standpoint, like we said, assets and things like that. So. I would like to see Paul George go to LA, but I just hope this offseason we do see a lot of the trade rumors that are bound to happen, like LeBron, leaving Cleveland, big things like that. That would be,
Well, that's not going to happen until he's a free agent, right, kind of thing. But do you think the Celtics really do have a shot with Paul George? Do you think that's going to happen? And do you think if Paul George does go to the Celtics, do you think he leaves after next season? To LA.
Yeah, I think so. I think when he becomes a free agent, his choice, he would want to go to where he grew up.
Say if he has a great time in Boston, though.
If he gets a ring, I'm sure he would, want to stay there in a system that works. I'm sure he wouldn't want to start over from scratch. Mm-hmm. But what kind of got me upset? Not upset, but just Phil Jackson dangling Porzingis out there.
See, here's how I feel about this situation. All he did was pretty much take calls, I think. if someone calls you, you're gonna like want to listen in, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
I see that, but they brought Phil Jackson in because of his track record, and supposedly they think that he's like this type of like god in basketball, when really he just had Michael Jordan and Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, that whole thing.
So
like, do I agree with everything Phil Jackson's done? No, like he's done a really bad job. But I think in this situation, people were just really overreacting. I don't know. That's my opinion of it. The way I look at it is like, say if you haven't gotten a girl's number in a while, and you just do it just see if you still got it, kind of thing. That's all he was kind of doing. Just like, let me see what they say, kind of thing. Let me see what's going on.
I don't think that's what happened.
I think that's what happened. Yeah,
because he's the president of basketball operations, so he's supposed to be making moves that potentially help the team in the long run, whether that's like trades or just bring like things like that. Him just dangling Porzingis out there in hopes to get Jay Crowder, Jaylen Brown, and a pick. Like,
I don't think. Well, that's the thing. I think he was asking for way higher than that, though. That was just like speculation. But I think if he would have gotten like a good deal, you could kind of listen to it. And I think most of the reason that teams thought that they were going to trade him was just because of that whole exit interview stuff. So they're like, hey, maybe stuff's going bad down there. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if he wants to give it Porzingis. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think people just over-exaggerated, in my opinion, on this one. Because they're just like, that's so much negative energy towards Phil Jackson at this point that they're like, oh, of course he would do this. This is something he would totally do. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. But like I said, he's the president of basketball operations, so you have to hold him to that standard, in my opinion. What I feel like is Porzingis is already established face of a team. So in order for him to be able to trade out for assets, he's already proved that hasn't worked, and then to try to force whatever assets he gets into the triangle is just like beyond outdated.
Yeah, like I don't think it was a good idea. It would be a good idea to trade Porzingis, but it's not a bad idea. Just listen in on what they say. You know what I'm saying? Just see if the deal's sweet enough. You might gotta think about it. There's nothing literally because no one wants to go to the Knicks apparently, even though they are in like one of the biggest markets. Seems like everyone's like, let's stay away from there.
What's where your career goes to die, pretty much, from what it seems like. I wouldn't want to go there anyway, honestly. Like, it just seems like the Knicks are in no way, shape, or form going to be a competitor anytime soon, honestly.
Unless they just throw stupid money at crazy players. But so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're not landing any big time free agents anytime soon. I don't know. I would just entertain the calls. Just lead them on. Like maybe put them on speaker while someone's next to you and just start laughing in the background where they're telling you.
I feel like you're taking this way too
That's
lightly.
what I feel like you could do. Like, you could have a lot of fun with this. You could have a lot of fun with that whole thing.
I guess so. All right, we're gonna close it out here. Try to make this short, sweet. So do you have anything you want to say before we close this out?
Nope, just the usual stuff. Like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section. Anything you want to say?
This time I got this. What? I'm gonna say the same thing he said. Like, subscribe, guys. Keep checking out our videos. Like I said, we're gonna try to do this every week, like we've been saying, as often as possible. Football season's coming up, so we're gonna start doing fantasy football talk soon. I'm honestly pretty excited for football season, so we're definitely gonna get into that. But you guys, take care.